The world is full of hidden corners, places that feel like they've been lost in time. Imagine a rainforest so thick that sunlight fights its way through endless layers of leaves, a world of swampy ground, rushing rivers and the constant hum of insects. This is southeastern Papua, Indonesia's half of New Guinea, and high above the jungle floor, sometimes as high as 50 feet in the air, perched in the crook of giant banyan and ironwood trees, live the Korowai. Welcome to Shadows of History, where the past hides secrets, and we uncover them together. If you love mysteries, forgotten stories, and the darker corners of history, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's dive straight into today's story. Trust me, you'll want to hear this one. For centuries, deep within the tangled, steaming jungles of Papua, Indonesia, a remarkable group of people lived completely unknown to the outside world. They are the Korowai, the people of the trees. Imagine a life so isolated that you had no idea other kinds of people even existed. That was their reality. It wasn't until the 1970s, a time when the rest of the world was sending rockets to the moon and connecting through television, that a group of scientists and missionaries stumbled upon them. This first contact was a monumental moment, like stepping into a living history book. It was a true clash of worlds, a moment that would forever change the destiny of this incredible tribe. The first outsiders to meet the Korowai were met with a mixture of fear, shock, pure curiosity. The tribe believed they were the only humans on Earth. They called outsiders Laleo, which means ghost demons. To them, these pale-skinned strangers who appeared out of nowhere must have come from the world of the dead. But with these stories also came sensationalism and misunderstanding. The Korowai quickly gained a reputation for being savages, cannibals, labels that are not only disrespectful, but also fail to capture the complex truth of their culture. To truly understand them, you have to push past the shocking headlines and look at the world through their eyes. The mystery surrounding the Korowai is what makes their story so compelling. It's a powerful reminder that even in our hyper-connected modern age, there are still pockets of the world where ancient traditions hold strong. For centuries, the outside world did not even know they existed. Until the 1970s, the Korowai believed that their people were the only humans alive, with the rest of the world populated by spirits. When Dutch missionaries and scientists finally made contact in 1974, the encounter was less a meeting of neighbors, and more like two different timelines colliding. Their journey from complete isolation to cautious interaction with the 21st century is a story of survival, adaptation, incredible resilience. It forces us to ask big questions about what it means to be civilized and to respect cultures that are vastly different from our own. To understand the Korowai, you first have to understand their home. They live in the southern part of Papua, a vast island in Indonesia, in one of the most remote and unforgiving lowland rainforests on the planet. This isn't a gentle, welcoming place. The first thing you notice about the Korowai is their tree houses. These homes are not whimsical huts for fun, they are fortresses. By building above the ground, families protect themselves from snakes, floods, biting insects, and most importantly, rival clans. It's a massive green labyrinth of dense vegetation, swamps, winding rivers. The higher the house, the greater the status, and though some reports of 100-foot-high dwellings may have been exaggerated, there's no question that these structures, lashed together with vines and roofed with sago leaves, are a breathtaking feat of engineering without a single nail or piece of steel. Each house is more than shelter, it is a statement of safety, pride, and identity. The air is thick with humidity, so heavy you can almost drink it, and the ground is a treacherous mix of mud, tangled roots, and unseen dangers. The canopy above is so thick that in many places the sunlight struggles to ever reach the forest floor, creating a world of permanent twilight. This is a place that tests you at every single turn, demanding respect and a deep knowledge of its secrets. Surviving here is a full-time job. The forest provides everything, but it gives nothing away for free. It's a world teeming with life, from exotic birds of paradise to countless species of insects, some of them deadly. Crocodiles patrol the rivers and venomous snakes hide in the undergrowth. For the Korowai, this environment is not an obstacle, it is their entire universe. It's their supermarket, their pharmacy, their hardware store, and their spiritual home all rolled into one. This knowledge is passed down through generations, a sacred library of survival skills that allows them to thrive where most outsiders would be lost in minutes. When you think of the Korowai, the first thing that comes to mind is their incredible homes, the treehouses, or kaim. Life in the forest revolves around sago palms, the heart of Korowai survival. Men fell the massive trees, women and children pound the spongy trunk, and the family roasts the starchy pulp into a kind of bread that forms the basis of every meal. These aren't just little huts perched on a few branches. They are masterpieces of natural engineering, built as high as 30 meters, 40 meters, or even 50 meters. That's like living in a 15-story building made entirely from materials gathered from the forest. Protein comes from hunting wild pigs, catching fish, and, most famously, collecting fat white sago grubs, either roasted to a crisp or eaten raw with a crunch that would make most outsiders shudder. The reason for building so high is pure survival genius. Firstly, it offers protection from rival clans and potential conflicts. But for the Korowai, these grubs are not disgusting but delicious, a prized delicacy for feasts. Every bite, every hunt, every crop is woven into rituals that honor the forest, which they see as a living, breathing presence filled with ancestral spirits. In a world without police or formal laws, being high up gives you a major defensive advantage. You can see enemies coming from a distance, and it's much harder to launch a surprise attack on a house that's floating in the sky. Secondly, the height provides a brilliant escape from the pests of the jungle floor. The lower levels of the rainforest are swarming with mosquitoes which carry deadly diseases like malaria. By living high up in the canopy, the Korowai reduce their exposure to these insects, as well as other annoyances like flies and crawling critters. It's also a way to escape the oppressive heat and humidity that gets trapped near the ground. Up in the treetops, a gentle breeze often flows, offering a bit of relief. The construction of a treehouse is a massive community effort that showcases their incredible skill and bravery. First, a suitable tree, usually a massive banyan tree, is selected as the central pillar. Then, the men climb the tree with astonishing agility, using nothing but their bare hands and feet. They build a framework of poles for the floor, lashing them together with strong vines. The floor itself is made from the bark of the sago palm. Walls and roof are crafted from palm leaves woven together to create a waterproof shelter. The entire structure is built without a single nail, without a single screw, without a single modern tool. It's all held together by friction, balance, and the strength of natural fibers. A long, notched pole serves as a ladder for access, and it can be pulled up at night for security. Inside, the treehouse is usually divided into separate spaces for men and women, with a central fire hearth for cooking and warmth. The core of Korowai society is the family, not just the nuclear family of parents and children but the extended family unit. Yet beneath this everyday rhythm lies a world of tension. The Korowai traditionally lived in small, scattered clans, each wary of the other. Raids and feuds were not about conquest but about justice, retaliation, and survival. Lives together, works together, survives together. These family groups or clans are the fundamental building blocks of their world. Loyalty to one's clan is everything. This is where their most sensational practice, cannibalism, enters the story. Unlike the lurid tales outsiders often tell, the Korowai did not eat their enemies for hunger or pleasure. Instead, cannibalism was a form of law and punishment. A man accused of being a kakwa, a sorcerer who killed from within, could be executed and consumed. They are fiercely independent. Each clan typically lives in its own treehouse, or a small cluster of treehouses. Eating the kakwa was believed to neutralize his dangerous spirit and restore balance to the community. Whether this is still practiced today is fiercely debated. Some Korowai openly admit it happened in the past. Others suggest the stories they tell now may partly be for the fascination of outsiders, separated from other clans by a stretch of forest. That forest is their territory for hunting and gathering. The truth is layered, but what is certain is that it was never about savagery. It was about order, fear, and the supernatural logic of their world. Disputes over land or resources can sometimes lead to conflict. Your clan is your safety net, your government, your entire social circle rolled into one. Men hunt wild pigs, hunt other game in the forest, felling massive sago palms, building the dangerous tree houses. They are the protectors and providers. Women process sago, the staple food. They take care of the children, maintain the gardens, fish in the rivers, gather edible plants, gather insects and larvae. It's a partnership where every member has a crucial role to play. The Korowai language is part of the Auyu Dumut family, spoken by groups in southern Papua. It has distinct dialects and characteristics. Long isolation meant little outside influence. Their language names hundreds of plants and animals. It has terms for different types of wind and rain. A rich vocabulary describes the spirit world. For them, language carries their history, their beliefs, and deep knowledge of the forest to the next generation. The Korowai live in a world that is alive with spirits. Their spiritual beliefs are not separate from daily life, they are completely intertwined with the forest, the sky, every living thing. For the Korowai, the arrival of outsiders was like a tear in the fabric of reality. Helicopters and cameras, clothes and cigarettes, men with pale skin who spoke strange tongues, all of it was unimaginable. They don't have a single all-powerful god but a complex universe of spirits. Over the last few decades, some clans have moved into government-built villages wearing Western clothes and sending their children to school. Others remain in the forest, keeping their traditions alive, still building their tree houses and harvesting sago as their ancestors did. Spirits of ancestors, protection and guidance, spirits in the rivers. They now live in two worlds at once, one rooted in the canopy, one tethered to modernity. The question that hovers, like their houses above the trees, is whether their way of life will survive another 50 years, or become just a memory told in documentaries and anthropology books. Spirits in the trees, spirits in specific parts of the forest. They also believe in Ginol, a creator god, part of creation myths, not actively worshipped. Their focus, maintaining balance with the unseen world and honoring ancestors. This brings us to a sensationalized and misunderstood topic: cannibalism. For years they were labeled brutal cannibals. That reputation is a dark, inaccurate caricature. The truth is more complex, tied to justice and spiritual belief. The Korowai do not hunt people for food. Ritual cannibalism was linked to the Kakwa belief. Kakwa, a witch or malevolent spirit that possesses humans, thought to cause mysterious deaths. When someone dies suddenly, the Korowai believe a Kakwa ate them from the inside. To restore balance and seek justice, the clan must identify and destroy the Kakwa. Identification often comes from a dying person's declaration. The accused is killed, and parts of their body are ritually consumed. From their perspective, this is not savage cannibalism, it's seen as capital punishment and spiritual cleansing. They believe they are destroying the Kakwa, not eating a person. It prevents further harm. With more outside contact and Indonesian authorities, the practice is now extremely rare and has largely ceased in most areas. Cannibalism overshadowed richer aspects of their culture. A day in the life of the Korowai is a masterclass in survival. There is no 9-to-5 job, no weekend, no retirement. Life is a constant cycle of activity dictated by family needs and the rhythm of the forest. The day begins before sunrise with the family around the hearth in the treehouse. The main goal each day: securing food. For the Korowai, the sago palm is their most important food source. One tree, the cornerstone of their diet. Harvesting sago is labor-intensive. Men fell a massive palm. They split the trunk open. They pulverize the pith into fibrous pulp. They take that pulp. They mix it with water in a bark trough. They stomp and squeeze the mix. Starchy liquid drains into a container below. Sago flour settles to the bottom. Water is poured off. Left, a thick white paste. This paste is the staple of nearly every meal. Cooked over fire, wrapped in leaves, forming a rubbery bread that provides energy. The Korowai are expert hunters and foragers. Men hunt wild pigs. Men hunt cassowaries. Men hunt other small animals. They use bows and arrows tipped with bone or hardwood. The forest is a pantry. Women and children forage all day. They gather wild greens, fruits, nuts. A prized delicacy, the sago grub, fat, juicy larvae living in rotting sago trunks. A rich source of protein and fat, roasted over fire or eaten live with a creamy, nutty flavor. They also fish in rivers with small nets or by hand for fish and prawns. Every day demands deep knowledge and effort. Nothing is wasted, every resource treated with respect. Their craftsmanship goes beyond houses. They make their own tools, weapons, household items from forest materials. The story of the Korowai matters not because it is exotic or strange, but because it reminds us of the vast range of human possibility. It shows us that people can thrive in landscapes we might find impossible, that justice and survival can take forms unfamiliar to our own, and that the human imagination, whether it builds skyscrapers in New York or treehouses in Papua, always finds a way to rise above the ground. The story of the Korowai is a powerful and humbling one. It's a journey into a world that operates on a completely different set of rules, a world governed by the laws of the jungle and the spirits of the ancestors. We've seen how they build their incredible homes in the sky, how they survive in a challenging environment, and how their complex beliefs have shaped their unique system of justice. Their culture is a precious and fragile treasure. It's a living link to a way of being human that has all but vanished from the rest of the planet. Their skills, their resilience, their deep connection to the natural world. As contact with the outside world increases, the Korowai are at a crossroads. Some have moved out of the deep forest into government-established villages, trading their tree houses for wooden huts on the ground. They are being introduced to modern medicine, processed foods, and a cash economy. This brings both opportunities and immense challenges. While healthcare can save lives, the loss of traditional skills and cultural identity is a very real danger. The younger generation is caught between two worlds: the ancient ways of their elders, and the lure of the modern world they see in visitors and nearby towns. The future of the Korowai people hangs in the balance. Respect is the most important tool we can bring when learning about a culture like the Korowai. It's easy to judge from a distance, to label their practices as primitive or savage, but to do so is to miss the point entirely. Their way of life is a brilliant adaptation to an extreme environment, a system that has allowed them to thrive for centuries. Their world has its own logic, its own beauty, and its own deep wisdom. This has just been a brief look into their world, a first step into the emerald labyrinth they call home. The adventure continues. Coming next, Episode 2, The Way of Wife. In the next chapter, we descend from the tree houses into the intimate heart of Korowai society, how they find wives, what marriage means in their world, how bride prices and kinship shape family life, and what happens when love or duty collides with survival. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.